In today's episode of Behind the Curtain, we're reflecting on some of our favorite moments and interviews from the dozens of episodes we have in the books, highlighting local arts organizations, venues, actors, and other creative people that make up the fabric of the Capital Region's theater community. We'll start with the Albany Barn. It's a sustainable arts incubator with locations both in Albany and Schenectady. In January, I sat down with Macaulay Canizzo, Albany Barn's executive director.
Not just events, but you really just hold spaces for people to come in and let their creativity run wild. Talk to me about what your mission is.
Oh my gosh, yes. We do have 3 facilities under Albany Barn, Inc., and so we're a nonprofit arts organization. Our mission is to develop the infrastructure for a creative, vibrant, equitable, creative economy in the neighborhoods we serve. So we have 3 facilities. There's one in Albany. It has individual artist studios. It has artist housing connected and theater space as well. And then we have Electric City Barn in Schenectady, which is a co-working makerspace. And then we actually have artistry studios in Schenectady as well, which is individual studios.
If people want to explore something new, they want to maybe workshop some sort of art installation, they want to meet with people that they're writing a show with, how do they reach out to you and get involved?
Oh my gosh, there's so many ways. If you want to be there, we want you there, right? So really you can start by just reaching out. Maybe you need that studio space. You need to have your own specialty space that you can work out of, close the door. Or maybe you just need to have a co-working space and meet with other people. Start by just reaching out to us and then we'll try to connect you from there. You could be a member with us, and so there's like a small nominal fee, and it's just so that you're in our orbit. So we invite you to the things, you connect with the people that are there, but it's very natural to have shared knowledge happening in our spaces, just because it's a community space.
And obviously tangible art comes out of these workshops that people have, the time that they spend perfecting whatever it is that they're working on. What are some of maybe the most memorable things that have come out of the barn as of late?
Oh my gosh, there are so many things. Ooh, we could be here for a while because
lay it on me.
Oh my gosh, there's so many cool things that come out because we serve over 200 artists in our spaces. And that's directly serving either with individual studios or artist housing or membership. Past that, the extension of their experience grows, right? These artists are going to schools and creating things. Recently here at Capitol High, 2 artists actually collaborated on this massive mural. It's like multiple feet long when they were building that space. And it's so cool to see that like they opened last year and it's on display. And that's the most recent one. We also are in partnership with Albany Center Gallery and Park Albany for Capitol Walls. So there's a lot of murals in downtown Albany, you'd know, that are by Albany Barn artists or artists that we've worked with.
If you're feeling inspired to get involved with the Albany Barn, there's an event this October that's perfect for getting your foot in the door. Fusion 2026 is an anti-gala fundraiser for the Albany Barn, with pop-up art installations and a lively DJ keeping the dance floor alive throughout the night. It's happening at Albany Barn Friday, October 16th from 6 to 9 p.m. Staying in Albany, they call it the Little Theater That Could. Steamer 10 Theater is a former firehouse that became a hub for Albany shows in 1991. Today, they continue to put on a range of offerings, from kid shows to an eclectic series. Also in January, I learned more from Executive Director Aaliyah Jane Peel.
Originally, the founder of the theater kind of named the eclectic series with the purpose of getting different types of venues in the space. We typically do like a February vacation days where we'll just kind of gig in different artists from different areas too. So we have kind of that branch off of our eclectic series that happens, but typically within the eclectic series, we're picking musicals that are either, I don't want to say not done often, but that are for kind of like the purpose of the things that are not spoken on stage all the time. So you know, we have had a range of different shows. Ride the Cyclone was one that when I was first gearing up to take over this position, we were doing as well, and that's also where we worked together. And then also Spelling Bee, so it's kind of like, Spelling Bee was kind of, you know, that song for the nerds and the geeks out there. So it's kind of the a purpose of for underrepresented as far as we can make it. But then we also have that sort of mission carry through with our what we call CAST program. It's Creative Arts at Steamer 10. So our main mission at the theater is to produce shows that are for student programming. And so we have a really great cohort right now working on this show called Alice versus Wonderland, and it's kind of this teenage spin on the classic tale where she has kind of an identity crisis. And we have a very an open and diverse set of students, in the sense of we have students from many different backgrounds, many different levels of neurodivergence, different identities. So it's really exciting to have a safe space for all of these kids, and I think they really enjoy that too. So they kind of support each other in that way. And yeah, so that's a big part of what we do. Eclectic's kind of a great way to amplify that mission through the community and adulthood. We offer some free film series for the area, and we partner up with Theater Voices that does some stage readings. And yeah, we have a lot going on.
Yeah, sounds like you're busy.
We'll be right back with more Behind the Curtain. Welcome back to Behind the Curtain. One man, a stage, and a whole lot of lines to learn. In March, I introduced you to Patrick White, co-founder of Harbinger Theater, as he embarked on a theatrical journey, taking on a role that inspired him as a teenager. He starred as Tennessee Williams in A Distant Country Called Youth, spanning the 25 years from the author's boyhood to the opening of the Glass Menagerie. Here's a piece of our discussion about why this role meant so much to him.
The Glass Menagerie is the first play I ever read. I was kind of a kid, kind of purposeless, not really knowing who I was or where I fit in. And I used to, perform at the dinner table, and I'd be like a class clown. I'd always be throwing stuff in. But there was an opportunity in my creative writing class in 10th grade. He asked, who wants to read in this play for the next 2 days? And my hand shot up, and I read Tom in the Glass Menagerie for 2 days. And after it, I was able to get all this anger out,
right.
and, crack wise, but it was in the script. It was all allowed, and I really identified with the play. And I think partially, being a homosexual, I identified with the character, right. Although it's not stated explicitly. I could see myself in him. And after class, all my classmates were like, man, that was great. That was a lot of fun. And it's not something that usually happened in class.
Yeah.
So it was really lights
transformative for you.
I became an actor. After that, I quit soccer. I, pursued, line and cue at Colony High School, and I took a summer camp. I spent my senior year at the Egg working with the Empire State Youth Theater, and then I directly went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts when I was 17.
Yeah. Up next for Harbinger Theater is a play called The Counter. It's about an unlikely friendship that develops between a lonely waitress and a regular customer at a small-town diner in upstate New York. It runs September 17th through the 26th at Albany Barn. Last month, I checked in with David Allen Miller, music director of the Albany Symphony, to get a taste of the upcoming season that opens this October at the Palace Theater. Rome, Romance, and Rising Stars. Is that correct?
Yes, it's Italian night mainly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's The Pines of Rome by Respighi, one of the great Italian masterpieces, and that's just a total barn burner. And we're starting with the William Tell Overture, another of the most famous Italian, along with Selko's piece. I think the William Tell may be first and Selko's I may have lied. She may be at the beginning of the second half.
William Tell, and then the Eric Wolfgang.
Oh, that's great.
Korngold, and then Chelka, and then it ends with Ottorino Respighi.
Yes, Ottorino Respighi. That's a classic. When you hear the famous end, The Pines of the Appian Way, that's one of those Disney has used that way a lot.
Yeah.
So it appears a lot. And so it's just a totally rousing, fabulous concert. I'm so excited to do it. And we're going to do all sorts of promotions with all the Italian restaurants around town,
great.
like Cafe Capriccio, our good friend Jim Rua, and others, to sort of hype that. So it'll be fun, and I'm delighted that Selka's on that concert.
Yeah, what a fun date night. Italian food and then a concert. And you also always have
Molto romantico. It'll be very romantic.
See. We'll be right back. Before we close the curtain on this week's episode, here's a look ahead at some other shows you can see or audition for in the Capital Region soon. The Charles R. Wood Theater in Glens Falls is having auditions for its annual cabaret. This year is a pop-influenced mixed media theme. The cabarets are described as low commitment and a great way to make connections and work with theater professionals while having fun. You have 2 chances to audition, Sunday, August 9th and Wednesday, August 12th. Jekyll and Hyde is coming to Schenectady Light Opera Company. It's a dark, thrilling musical about a brilliant doctor whose daring experiment unleashes his violent alter ego. The show runs September 11th through 20th. And you can cut loose at Cahoe's Music Hall. Footloose, presented by Playhouse Stage Company, runs through August 15th. The musical brings the smash 1984 film to life with electrifying 80s anthems, including Let's Hear It for the Boy and Holding Out for a Hero. Thanks for watching this episode of Behind the Curtain. If you have a story idea that highlights the Capital Region theater scene, email me, gbruno@news10.com. See you next week.